Beneath the resplendent tapestry of African history lies a chilling narrative. A narrative that unfolds in the shadows of unforgivable atrocities and in the dim, cramped quarters of history's darkest voyage. It is a narrative of an era when human lives were bought and sold as commodities. When nations fueled their prosperity with the blood and sweat of the oppressed. Picture, if you will, a time when the African continent's vibrancy and diversity were overshadowed by a trade so abhorrent, so heinous, that its reverberations still echo through the annals of time. The Atlantic slave trade. In this journey through history, we unveil the harrowing truths of life aboard a slave ship, bearing witness to the horrors that stained humanity's conscience forever. To embark on the harrowing journey into life aboard a slave ship, we must first unravel the sprawling tapestry of the Atlantic slave trade. A colossal human tragedy that reshaped the very fabric of our world. Imagine, if you will, a vast and turbulent ocean, its waves carrying untold secrets beneath the surface. In the 15th century, the tides of history began to shift dramatically. European powers, hungry for wealth and driven by economic greed, cast their eyes across the Atlantic, seeking untold riches in the New World. What followed was a trade so inhumane, so abhorrent, that it stands as a testament to the darkest facets of human ambition. Millions of souls from the shores of West Africa were swept into this merciless current, their lives forever altered by the voracious appetite for profits. Families were torn asunder, communities decimated, and cultures forever scarred. The Atlantic slave trade was born. A trade characterized by brutality, avarice, and the commodification of human beings. As we delve deeper into this chapter, we will unearth the chilling details of this brutal trade, tracing its roots and examining the harrowing journey endured by those who became victims of history's cruelest migration. The Atlantic slave trade was not merely an event. It was a seismic shift that redefined the course of history, leaving a legacy that continues to shape our world today. Imagine, if you will, the lush landscapes of West Africa, where the earth teems with life and communities thrive in harmony with nature. Families, dreams, and destinies thrived in this breathtaking beauty. But amidst this brilliance, a cruel twist of fate was about to unfold. A twist that would cast a shadow over this land. Picture, if you will, the bustling villages and tranquil homesteads of West Africa, where lives thrived in harmony with nature. It was amidst this breathtaking beauty that countless souls were ensnared in a web of unimaginable suffering. In the heart of these communities, lives were irrevocably shattered. Families torn asunder, dreams extinguished, and destinies forever altered. Enslaved Africans, ripped from their homes, faced a fate that defied all comprehension. The methodical cruelty of this trade began with the hunters, African intermediaries, often driven by desperation or betrayal, who captured their fellow countrymen and women. Bound by chains and stripped of their dignity, the captives began their descent into a nightmare. For those who survived the initial horrors of capture, a perilous journey awaited. Shackled and traumatized, they were herded towards the coast, where the unforgiving Atlantic Ocean and the waiting slave ships marked the next stage of their odyssey. The journey to the coast was itself a harrowing ordeal. These captives, our ancestors, were subjected to brutal marches through unforgiving terrain, enduring exhaustion, hunger, and disease. It was a relentless march toward an uncertain destiny, one filled with despair and trepidation. As they reached the coast, the melancholy sound of waves crashing on the shore offered no solace. Instead, it signaled the grim realization that their fate was sealed. The horrors of the slave ships lay before them, where crowded holds and the stench of suffering awaited. The transition from the African continent to the bowels of the slave ships marked the descent into a living hell. Once aboard, every breath taken was a testament to survival amidst the relentless horrors that unfolded. Imagine a world below deck, a world devoid of light where humanity was discarded like mere cargo. Shackled and stripped of any semblance of dignity, enslaved Africans were crammed into spaces barely fit for existence. It was a wretched, nightmarish existence. These ships, designed with profit, not humanity, in mind, became prisons of torment. Overcrowded, unsanitary, and sweltering, they bore witness to unimaginable suffering. The very air was heavy with the stench of despair, as disease and death lurked in the shadows. Here, where chains rattled and groans of anguish echoed, the endurance of the human spirit shone most brilliantly. In the face of unimaginable adversity, the captives clung to life with a tenacity that defied the cruelty of their circumstances. The Slave Ship, A Human History, by Marcus Rediker, 2007. Vividly recounts the horrors of these voyages, offering a chilling glimpse into the depths of despair that enslaved Africans endured below deck. It is a testament to the indomitable human spirit that, even in the darkest abyss, hope flickered, resistance emerged, and the will to survive burned brightly. Amidst the suffocating darkness below deck, the indomitable human spirit refused to yield to the horrors that sought to consume it. In the most harrowing of circumstances, enslaved Africans found a way to defy their oppressors, to maintain their dignity, and, against all odds, to survive. The journey aboard a slave ship was a relentless test of endurance and willpower. Yet, within this crucible of suffering, seeds of resistance were sown. From whispered words of encouragement to acts of open defiance, the captives clung to their humanity. Slave Resistance, a Caribbean study by Edward Kamau Brathwaite, 2002, delves into the myriad forms of resistance that emerged in the darkest corners of the slave ships. It reveals stories of solidarity, subtle acts of rebellion, and the unwavering determination to resist dehumanization. Enslaved Africans sang songs of freedom, their voices carrying across the confines of the ship, a testament to the enduring hope for a brighter tomorrow. They shared stories, traditions, and languages, forging bonds that defied the attempts to erase their identities. In these acts of resistance, they reclaimed their humanity, reminding themselves and their oppressors that they were not mere commodities, but resilient souls, bound by a shared history and an unquenchable desire for liberty. In the relentless march of history, change often begins as a whisper that gradually swells into a chorus, demanding justice, equality, and the recognition of shared humanity. As the abolitionist movement gained momentum, it raised a defiant voice against the inhumanity of the slave trade, finally piercing through the veil of indifference. In Bury the Chains, Prophets and Rebels in the Fight to Free an Empire's Slaves, by Adam Hochschild, 2005, we are transported to a time when individuals of conscience and compassion dared to challenge the status quo. They were the voices that could no longer be silenced, the catalysts of a profound transformation. As we navigate this intricate tapestry of history, it's crucial to understand the profound impact the Atlantic slave trade had on African societies. The repercussions of this trade reverberated across the continent, leaving scars that would endure for generations. Imagine the vibrant cultures and intricate social structures of West Africa, where communities thrived for centuries. The sudden and ruthless extraction of millions of individuals destabilized societies, created power vacuums, and shattered age-old traditions. Communities were stripped of their able-bodied members, leaving behind a landscape of grief and economic hardship. Families torn apart, villages in turmoil, and the loss of entire generations created a void that would take centuries to heal. Picture, if you will, the ominous journey that awaited those who survived the brutal capture and initial hardships of transportation. This next leg of their odyssey, known as the Middle Passage, was a nightmarish voyage across the treacherous Atlantic. In the bowels of the slave ships, where despair lingered like a heavy fog, captives endured unimaginable conditions. Packed like sardines in the dark, cramped holds, they were subjected to a relentless onslaught of misery, disease, filth, and the ceaseless motion of the ship. It was a journey of unparalleled suffering, where life and death hung in the balance with every passing day. Yet, within this crucible of despair, bonds were forged, communities were built, and a shared resilience emerged as enslaved Africans clung to the hope of surviving this harrowing passage. As we delve deeper into this dark chapter, we must confront the stark reality that underpinned the Atlantic slave trade: the insatiable pursuit of profit. The trade in human lives was a lucrative enterprise, driven by economic greed on a staggering scale. Imagine, if you will, the vast fortunes amassed by European nations and individuals, built upon the backs of enslaved Africans. The commerce in human beings yielded immense wealth, laying the foundation for modern capitalism while exacting a devastating toll on those who were commodified. The economics of enslavement were entrenched in a system that devalued human life, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation that persisted for centuries. It was a system in which the pursuit of profit took precedence over the most basic principles of humanity. The legacy of those who endured the horrors of the slave ship reverberates through history, a haunting reminder of the capacity for cruelty that humanity possesses. Yet, it also serves as an enduring testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The very spirit that inspired abolitionists to rise against the prevailing norms. The abolitionist movement was a beacon of hope, a declaration that the moral compass of society could be realigned. It was a call to end the suffering, to dismantle the machinery of oppression, and to recognize the inherent worth of every individual. Through activism, literature, and tireless advocacy, abolitionists played a pivotal role in bringing an end to the Atlantic slave trade. Their legacy continues to inspire the ongoing fight for justice and equality, reminding us that the struggle for a more humane world is not bound by time or place. As we reflect upon this dark chapter in history, may we never forget the strength and dignity of those who suffered, and may their legacy inspire us to work towards a future where such horrors are never repeated. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. The story of life aboard a slave ship is a story of survival, resistance, and the enduring human spirit. Let it serve as a reminder that we must continue to strive for a world where justice and equality prevail.